Hello everyone, welcome to the fifth day of IFS original development for IFS Cloud Virtual Classroom. For these 4 days, we have learned a lot, and let me recap what we did this maybe the last day. And let me open up my screen. Give me a moment, please. Right. So we were doing these exercises with this workshop document that we have, and towards the end of the yesterday, we started a sort of a brand new exercise that starts from exercise number 6. And the specialty of this exercise is that this is supposed to be done as a sort of a customization on our code that we have been working until exercise number 5, right? So we copied some code, and actually before that, we actually created uh, a IFS customization project apart from our core project. So IFS customization project is there, and then we copied the code from our Orina core to this customization project. So that component is this trnent. And then we also copied some extra code as well. So in the training resources, we had this Orina customization based script. We extracted that into this workspace of the Orina cust project, and that gave us this FND BAS component and the TRNIME component. And this is because of this I explained that this code copying isn't something you would do in a typical customization project. What you would probably do is you would have the customer's source repository in Azure repositories, and you would use Git command line tools in order to clone that repository into your maybe a local workspace, right? And you would create a workspace directly there. And on that, you would create a project and you would be working on that workspace after you check out the whole source code, right? But we can't check out the whole source code. Therefore, what we did was we just got this bare minimum number of components, FNDBAS, TRNENT, and TRNINV, and that's where we are working. And after we did that, we started with actually deploying this or registering this TRNINV component. We used a special register TRNINV SQL, sort of a small script to register this TRNINV component, and we explained that in IFS Cloud, unlike in App 10 and even in earlier IFS Cloud versions, in IFS Cloud 22 R1 onwards, I think, you need to actually register the component in order for it to be useful in the client. Otherwise, you can deploy your clients, but they won't show up in the Orina client, right? Orina app, maybe. And after that, we deployed these entities, and we found that there's a problem. The problem was that the database tables weren't created. So what we did was we actually deployed the database tables using this CDB. So when we are creating a customization, you are actually supposed to uh, you are actually supposed to accumulate these database changes into a CDB file. And if you participated in the base server training, you might have already done that, right? So this CDB file is such a file where we have all the table definitions for all the entities we were going to deploy. And then we went ahead and deployed the entities and the utilities and the enumeration. Of course, first of all, we needed to deploy the enumeration, and then we deployed some data using these INS scripts, and then we deployed the clients, and that gave us some new top level directories like manage inventories and what else, manage products, right? And manage inventories is where we would be working, and this inventory details is in fact something we have added, right? So in order to do that, so if I go to the exercise again, so the exercise asks us to create this sort of a master detail uh, page that is called inventory details. So that's what we were doing yesterday. We created this inventory details page, we added it to the navigator, and then we created this group. We haven't created this list just yet, and we added these some of these fields. So company ID, branch ID, inventory ID, name, picking lead time. These are available in our TRN inventory uh, logical unit, and then there's these other 4 fields we have to think about. So it's a bit hard to get, right? So we added company ID, branch ID, inventory ID, name, and picking lead time. These were just fields from TRN inventory, and then we needed the way to get the country ID and area ID, and the country name and the area. So for the country ID and the area ID, we saw that if you actually check the overview from the inventory, we can get we have a connection or a relationship or aggregate relationship to the TRN branch, and from the TRN branch we can get the country ID and area ID. So it made sense to actually create a reference to TRN branch, and then using the TRN branch ref, we could get the country ID and the area ID. So that's where we stopped. And yeah, so I can log into this Orina client. So it might have timed out. So for you as well, I can log into this Orina client and I can see my inventory details page, and I can see that all the select and everything is there. And we have the country ID and the area ID. So that's where we stopped. And if you look at the workshop document, we have this create the group, and then did we create a custom selector? No, we haven't created one. So we can do that as well. Yeah, so these things we'll do today. But before we start, do you have any questions from yesterday or anything you might want to ask?
Yes, one question here. It's not closely related to yesterday's stuff, but with Tiny, we started working with a navigator, and she showed us a way to use selects to get navigator information from some system close to system tables. And I'm wondering that is there a similar tool available that we had in Enterprise Explorer development is Navigator Editor?
Yes, so no, we don't have a navigator editor. So our editor is actually these files. So these client files would be our navigator editor. So yeah, so there's no visual navigator editor. You have to do it using code.
Okay, I misformulated a little bit my question. I was
Okay.
I understand that this is the way that we add items to Navigator, but is this to get info on where to put our items or what the indexes are? Is this the best method that we saw that using selects on Navigator tables? So no more.
Think yes. So yes, that's the. I think that's the solution that we have for now. So you can query the navigator tables and see the the ordinals, the indexes that is saved there. So I think that's what you're asking, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So we don't have any other way, Janos. I think that's the way we can do it.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Do we have yes? So Tiny has kindly put the name of that table as well. If any navigator structure tab. So there is the table.
Yes. Okay.
Right. Any other questions like that? Thanks for that question. Right. Okay. So then let's quickly get on with the exercise. Right. So we created the group, and we have some fields as well, and we figured certain things like we now have the country ID and the area ID. However, we said that there's no way to get the country and the area using a reference. So we tried to see if we can create one, and we saw that we will be failing because we have if we are trying to create a reference TRN country, we need a country ID in this TRN inventory logical unit, and there's no way to get the country ID, and we can't have sort of a two-step references in entities. So the references has to be one step always, just like this. Uh, so this is a problem, and what could be the solution? And I gave you a hint as well. The hint is that I ask you to look at the projections base files. So if I go to the this is inventory handling cost. So if I go to the base file of the inventory handling inventory handling base projection there, uh, we uh, we discussed about this entity TRN inventory. So whenever you try to use an entity in here, what the code generator will do is it will create this base file, and in the base file it will create an entity, and this entity is created by looking at the base serve entity. So these entities, these projection entities are different from base serve entities. So base serve entities over there in there that this TRN inventory is different from this TRN inventory entity that we have in the projection. So these entities are actually OData entities, and they belong in the middle tier, whereas this entity in the entities directory folder there, they belong to the base server. So they are base server entities and they exist in the database. But this middle tier entity, when the code generator generates this entity in the base projection file, it actually looks at the TRN inventory base server entity, and it does some things by looking at it, right? So all these fields, attributes that you see in this TRN inventory middle tier entity, or maybe the OData entity, is created by looking at the TRN inventory base server entity, right? And what you can see is that you will see that in the entity there are certain properties like from, and it points to a certain view. This TRN, this is the view or the base view of the TRN entity base or the base of entity TRN inventory, right? And it has a base table and all those things as well. And then there's a list of attributes that this entity has. So there's OBJ grants, and what we don't know what that is. Then there's company ID, branch ID, the typical columns, inventory ID, name, and picking lead time, right? The typical ones. And they have certain, insertable, updatable properties and all those things. And there are data types too, right? So what is this? So if you actually go to the metadata document of the inventory handling, you will see that there's this entity type TRN inventory. So this OBJ grants and all these attributes in there actually refers to these attributes in the base projection file. And the thing is, you can actually add attributes to any entity as well. So for example, uh, in the inventory handling projection, we are actually overriding the TRN inventory entity. So when we are overriding, so this reference is there, but with the reference, since we are overriding this TRN inventory, the base attributes in this TRN inventory entity are there as well. And there's nothing stopping us from adding maybe new attributes. So let's say I can do something like that. So let me show you this. So I'll say attribute. Let's say test text attribute, and it's a text. Right? So we can declare new attributes like that. And so when we declare attributes, uh, what happens? What happens when what is the value for these attributes when the when the entity is fetched. And to get that attribute, you will see that there's this fetch property of each attribute, right? So for example, for company ID, the fetch property is this company underscore ID. So what you're seeing here is that a way to create a SQL statement in order to get the values for each of the attributes. For example, the SQL statement to get the data for TRN inventory inventory entity could look like this. So maybe I have a copy of this SQL statement. Right. So let me show this to you. So let me open up a execute command for the database. Right. So there's a select statement, and what you can see is that so if you compare it with the base projections TRN inventory, and the from is the TRN inventory view. So our SQL command is fetching data from TRN inventory, and we have some attributes. For example, obj grants, its fetch is null, and we have null obj grants, and then company ID. The fetch is company ID, and then for the branch ID, the fetch is branch ID, and so on and so forth. So we have this. So this fetch tells you which column of the view you can use to get the value for this attribute. So we can create a SQL statement like this, right? And just like that, we can add attributes as well. So maybe if I do this, for example, if I say fetch equals maybe let's make it a number just for ease. And then let's say this is 42. So what we are essentially telling here is that so we can run this SQL command. So what we are, yeah, I just selected a part of it, right? Yeah, so we can get the data, using a SQL statement like this, and it will give us the data. So if I create an attribute like this, attribute text attribute, and that is a number, what you're essentially telling the data model is you can do that, maybe change your SQL statement to something like this. Let's say this is test attribute. Right. And it will return 42 every time because we have hard coded the fetch for this test attribute. So just let's say just test attribute. Right. So if I deploy this and watch what happens to the metadata and the service, right? So if I now refresh the metadata, now we have a property in the entity type TRN inventory called test attribute, and it's a decimal because that's the numeric data type in OData, right? And if I try to get data for it, get data for this TRN inventories, I can refresh this again. You see that for each record, the test attribute called 42, right? And so this is something like this. So we are creating a SQL statement, and we can give some SQL expression and make it an attribute, right? So did this get to your heads? Is this clear for you guys? So what I'm getting at is we can create our own custom attributes, and we can give some kind of a SQL expression to get the value of that attribute, right? Is this okay? Any questions?
I have a question here.
Okay.
If we actually don't use the fetch there, will it give an
Mhm.
error if the column is actually not there in the entity?
Okay, let's try that. So maybe I can do this. it fails. The reason is that I can go to the SVC. Yeah, because there's no
Yeah, the column is not
expression.
defined.
Yeah,
Mm.
it fails, right? So it clearly fails, and you do need to specify some kind of a fetch for that, right?
Okay.
Another question here.
Yes,
Can you please go to the base projection file?
sure.
And here we see fetch and below that DB column. What's the
Right.
difference?
So there are two ways to get the data. So sometimes, so typically what you would see is that you would get the data from the view. However, I have seen that the DB column is there as well. I have heard that sometimes you can get the data from table as well, but I haven't done that. Maybe I can check that and get back to you. But ideally, the data fetching should happen from the view, because the views have certain where clauses and all those things, and that is part of the business logic. So if you get the data from the DB column, it'll actually bypass it. And I'm not exactly sure why the DB column is there, so I can get back to you on that. So I promise I'll answer that tomorrow, right?
Okay, thank you.
One more question though. When we actually mention the fetch here, is it
Mhm.
actually in kind of a fetch from the server, or is it still in the client actually now?
It is fetched from the server, and strictly speaking, it's actually a Oracle expression. Oracle, not a statement, a expression. So this could be, something like decode, and then you specify some value, X API dot get something, and then you can have certain values like this. So these kind of things could be there as well, right? So we'll do something like this down the line, and you can have any SQL expression. So what is an SQL expression? So anything the SQL expression is anything that you can have here. So it could be a column name, it could be a call to a database method, it could be a case statement, it could be a decode, it could be something like maybe a CHR, something like this, right? So all of these are actually SQL expressions, and you can have any SQL expression here as a fetch, right?
Okay.
Can you try a date, like say if you want to put today's date?
Right. Sysdate.
Yeah.
So if, yeah. So let's do that. Attribute, let's say today, date, and let's say fetch equals sysdate. Right. I need this. Right. So if I do that, hopefully it will compile. Yeah, it does. And then I can see the data model. Today is there. And then if I try to query the data using the OData service, it'll give you the date. Right. So, any expression could be there. So, right. So is that clear, guys? So then if that's clear, we can actually do something about our country name and the area name. So I said that you can have any expression, and expressions include PLSQL calls. And if you go to the TRN, so since we are trying to get the country name and the area name, so let's just actually comment this out for a second. And since we are trying to get the country name and the area name, what we can do is we can actually create a new attribute for these two things, attributes, right? So let me do that for country name. Attribute country, let's call it country name, and that would be a text. and we want to be sure that it has a fetch statement. And what could be its fetch statement? So if I go to TRN country logical unit, so that's in the TRN ENT, TRN country, and I can generate code here. Yeah. And I can check its API. And you all know that in the API, there's this get country method. And it takes a country ID. So we can use this method, right? And that's exactly what we are going to do. For the fetch statement, we could say TRN country API dot get country, and then we need a country ID. So how to get the country ID? We still don't have a country ID in the TRN inventory. However, we have a country ID in TRN branch, and in fact, if I generate code for TRN branch, yeah, let's see the API, and I can see a get country ID here, and it gets the company ID and a branch ID, and luckily we do have a company ID and a branch ID. So let's get rid of these things. Right? So we do have a company ID and a branch ID in inventory. So what we can do is we can say TRN branch API. So this is this is us trying to get the country ID. Get country ID. Get country ID, and then what's that? Company ID and the branch ID. And we can do a little formatting. And this will actually give us the country name. So if I save it and deploy it, and I can check the data model now again. So we have the country name. Our two dummy attributes are gone. The country name is there now. And if I try to query that, so we get the correct country name for the countries, right? Yeah, yeah, it's correct. So yeah, so that's how you do it. So I'll create a new directory here, and I need a day 5 directory. And I'll give you the path in the chat as well. And in there, I'll have exercise number 6. We have another exercise number 6. We don't want that. Right. So in there, I'll put this attribute country name. And in fact, we can do a similar thing for area name as well. So let me do that. Attribute area name. So you can work with me here. So you can copy the code if you want. You can type it if you want, however you like. And for the area name, I think I have I have some code that is prepared somewhere else. So I'll use that. So this is a 2-step sort of a bit complex. And so let me show you what I'm doing. So we are getting the area from TRN area API, but this get area expects a country ID as well as a area ID. So what we are going to do is we are going to actually get the country ID from the branch API, also get the area ID from the branch API, and we are giving the results of those two calls as the parameters, as the country ID and the area ID. So this should be a it's not hard. It's not hard, right? I'll copy this code here as well, and I think I can copy this to the chat too. And I'll give you a minute to do that. And you can check your data model of course, you need to deploy it, and you can check your data model to see if area name is there, and then you can even try populating it. So area name is there as well. So maybe add this bit of code in here as well.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I don't know if you saved the notepad because it doesn't update for me.
Maybe you are opening that from day 4. Now, would you check it? So there's a day 5
Yeah.
as well.
Okay. Now I can see it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Maybe I forgot to save. Sorry about that.
No problem.
So hope you're okay. Let me know if you need more time. I'll give you a couple of more seconds.
Did you deploy this or?
Yeah, I did deploy the projection, not the client. So we haven't done the necessary changes in the client. So I did the projection, and then I confirmed by, checking my metadata document. So you can get the metadata document by going to the inventory handling.svc, right? And in there, there's a link to get the metadata document. You can go there. And also, if I copy this here, and then append the URL for TR inventories, copy that, paste it, I get to populate all the TRN inventory records from the TRN inventories entity set. So maybe I can give that to you as well. I guess I'll remove the machine VM number. Right. So now that we have these 2 attributes, we can actually use them in the client. Right. So I'll go towards the client. Let me know if you need more time. We can wait. Not a problem. So yeah. So I can uncomment this field country, and it should be country name. Also area name. And now I can deploy the client and test that in the Arena app. Do a hard refresh. And I can see the country ID and the country name and everything. Area name is also there. And I'll give you a minute to do that. All good. Let me know if you're having trouble or anything. I can help you out. Right. So there's a bit of a problem. So if you actually click on either country name or the area name, you can see that these could be edited, and it doesn't do anything because this is an attribute we have created, and the Orina app doesn't know, Orina app or even the middle tier doesn't know how to save it. So there's no destination for saving it. It's just a fetch attribute, and I think the DB column tells you where to save it. I can again check that. I'm not exactly sure, so I can't tell you something I don't know. So anyway, there's a problem. So the problem is that we can edit this area name. So this can be edited too, right? We can edit this country name and the area name. So somebody asked about these static and the difference between static and field. So we can talk about that right now because when you say field, it means it's some property in the entity that you are using, that you are creating the UI element for. But if you have field, it'll let you edit things if the entity lets you edit things, right? So okay, let me explain that to you. So if I go to TRN inventory entity, you will see that, for example, the inventory ID is not editable. Sorry, this one. So none of these parents keys or keys, they are not editable. They aren't editable. So when you create the entity, it'll make sure that this company ID, branch ID, inventory ID, those three things are not editable. However, the name is editable. So if you say field name, it will create an editable field. If you say field inventory, it will create a non-editable field, but it will let it insert. It will let you insert because it is insertable here, right? So if you say the point is that if you say field, it'll conform to the editability of the data model, right? However, if you say static, it'll prevent you from editing anything. So what we can do is we can change the country name and area name into static fields. So the way to do that is, and actually let me copy this and then comment this one out and change this to static. I'll do the same for area name as well. So I'm changing it from field to static. And this should solve our problem. And if I now refresh it, do a hard refresh, you'll see that the country name and the area name isn't editable anymore, right? However, so this works for us, but these attributes that we have created, they are in the TRN inventory entity right now. So if somebody comes along and creates maybe a new list that uses this TRN inventory entity, what happens is if they forget to use these fields as static, so that UI element will be, it will have a bug as well, where the people can edit the country name and the area name, right? So the problem is that we have to declare the country name and the area names as static anywhere we use TRN inventory right now. But there's a better alternative, and again we have to look at the base projection in order to see the solution, right? So let me open up the inventory handling base projection. So if you check there, you will see that for each attribute, there are these editable, updatable, and insertable properties. So these things, so they have certain conditions. So for example, for obj grants, it's all false. That is because this obj grants is a sort of a meta field, and it is not meant to be inserted or updated or done anything with it, right? So therefore, we can do something similar to this as well. So what I can do is I can just copy these three things: editable false, insertable false, and updatable false. Let me copy that and paste that on each of our newly created attributes. So let me put that in the document as well. I'll here and here. And I can deploy this. And also now that I've declared that this area name and the country name is not editable, it's not insertable or updatable, nothing can be done with it. So I can revert these changes. So I can just have country name and the area name as just fields. The reason is that the data model tells that these fields are not editable, so there's no harm done. Right? So now I can again refresh. And they are still not editable. And should I check the data model? No, we don't see the change there in the data model. No. So that can be done as well. Right? So I've put those two changes. So just we can have these editable false, updatable false, and insertable false. And there are some other properties like that as well. There's a required property. So this is by default false, and things like that are there. Yeah.
Sampath,
Yes.
could you please go to the base projection file?
Sure. Give me a second.
If you scroll down, I see there's a LOV property there.
Right. Yes. It's for, I think, company. Where is that?
Yeah,
LOV column.
LOV column. So is there any use of that in the client?
So so since this is actually a key, it'll so if what happens is, if this TRN inventory entity is used by, let's assume that it's a foreign key of some other other logical unit, like the TRN com method, right? So then you might, if you are creating a client, you might want a LOV, right? So this is to tell you that this is the column that refers to the key of the LOV. So that's why it's there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Okay.
Can you make something conditionally editable? Like, for example, suppose I wanted to say I can modify the country name only if, say, the company ID starts with X or Y or something like that. Can you do that over
Right.
here? Or you
Yeah.
have to
Yes. I could say editable. Let's do a new. Should I do a new attribute? I'll do a new attribute. I don't want to touch this. Test text, and I'll have fetch for fetch just some text, and then I'll have a editable equals. So this is a topic for, I think, later today too, or maybe tomorrow. But I'll show you how to do that. This is, I think, there's a company ID, isn't it? Yes, there is a company ID. Editable if company ID equals, let's say, TCS. We do have a company ID like that. Is this correct? So let's see if it compiles. Company ID. Again, let's
Then
see
the
the
company ID should be company underscore ID. Oh no, the ABC you have mentioned.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So I think so here we can't do that. So it says it is expecting keywords in the set e tag false or true, right? So maybe it's not possible here. So I can see that this, but there's a way to change the editable property. So for example, this if the e tag equals null, it is editable. So things like that can be done. But I don't think this is possible. But this editability can be set in list level and the page level. So I'll show you how to do that when we do that. So this is something I haven't tried as well. So that's what when you asked, I wanted to actually try it. Yeah. So that's not possible for this one, I think. But for the list level and the group level, not the group level, the page level, that is possible, and I will show you how to do that.
Before you move to the next one, can you create another attribute as a query, not just as using a get from the database? Because I mean, we are using company ID, right? Let's say we have company ID in the other table. That's why I want to know how you're going to differentiate them.
So let's say test again. Text. What would you like to fetch? The company ID?
Yeah.
We do have a company ID here. Let's say if you want to get something from company, maybe. Let's say what do we have? Sorry. Company generate code. The API get okay. Let's say get name. Get name. Does it work for you? TRN.
No, I mean,
API.
can we do a select instead of calling functions?
A select. Could that be an expression? But it could be expression, isn't it? Select. Select. Let's say select something like this. Should this work? I'm thinking. Is this an expression? Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So it'll work. So this kind of thing will work actually. So it's sort of an inner, not exactly an inner query, but you can have an expression like this, and it has to return a single record. So you can do things like that. So maybe select select.
Can you try logged in user like FND API get user whatever?
Yeah, sure. Does this work? FND user API, is it? I don't remember. Get OS user, isn't it? Get FND user, right? I think that should work. Let's test that. Yeah. So again, other thing is that these.
I think it's FND session.
FND session API, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember it right now.
My question here is that we're using the company ID from TRN inventory, right? Let's say I want to use the company ID from another table. So how are you differentiating them? You don't have alias, you don't have anything. That's the thing.
Yeah, so if you are doing that, so there are two things. So since this must be an expression that returns a single value, you can have a query that returns a single record. So maybe you can, if you want to maybe combine another table, what you can do is you can have a select statement like this that combines a couple of tables, and then you can have table aliases there, and then you can use the company ID from this TRN in the table, right? And then if this query returns a single record, it will work. Or else it should be a sort of a, PLSQL method call like this.
Yeah, but for example, country name, we could do the same thing that you have there as a select, right?
This
get
one.
Select country from TRN country, where country ID equals to whatever.
Country from TRN country, where country equals country ID equals,
and then you get
let's say,
you can
you can do a maybe a
this one would work.
Yeah, this should work. I'll just test this first in the select statement.
It should.
Yeah, it should work, right? So I can try that. And yeah, so I'm testing it because these things. So these things are just strings, so they are not checked for syntax or anything. So you have to always test it, right? And I can get the results here. Should have. Oh no. Yeah. Test. Yeah. Test should give the country. So it can be done. So instead of this database call, you could just join the country and the branch tables and all those things.
Can we do something over the TRN branch? Because then we will be using the same columns. That's what I want to see. So how are you differentiating the columns?
Yeah. So that would be a problem, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah. So here's what we'll do. Since this will take time.
Okay.
I'll do this test and let you guys know. So this kind of you can do complex things if you have a complex enough query or maybe expression, an SQL expression. You can get the value for it. So let me test that, and I'll get back to you. So there are two questions now I have about the DB column and this. So I'll answer that tomorrow, right? Right.
Sampath, sorry to stop you again. I have a question. I mean, what difference is actually between the editable faults and updatable faults?
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure. I think this is regarding the table updatability, whereas editable is the client editability, and that too I can check actually. So I couldn't find a reference this evening before I started this, so I had that problem as well, the same problem. So I'll check that as well, and I'll let you know. Right?
Okay, but in general practice, I mean, is it actually advised to actually go and copy the things from the base project, something like this actually, always for all the attributes?
Maybe yeah. So again, you have to make a kind of a judgment, right? So it for this one, it doesn't seem it's harmful, isn't it? So so that's why I copied all the things. But this would actually work with just editable and insertable as well. So I don't think we need updatable. So that will still work, I think. Yeah. So you can copy things because these are actually generated by the code generator. So we know that they are bug tested and they work. So they are probably better than any code we might write. Right. So but of course, when you're copying I need to actually know what that means. So that is something I haven't done today, right? Yeah. So I think there's a right. Right. So there's the help document as well. So you can go through that. I think it will tell you exactly what this means. And yeah. So since it's taking time, I'll actually go to the next step. So I really need to go to the next step right now. Right. So we got the area and the country fields. So this part is okay, and we can create a custom selector to display the company ID, branch ID, inventory ID, name, and picking lead time. So what does this mean? So if I go to the page right now, so this is the selector. This whatever that is in the left side is a selector, and what you see in the selector is the company ID and the branch ID and the inventory ID. What our exercise wants us to do is to have few extra attributes, the name and the picking lead time as well. So how are we seeing these things in the selector? And the answer is we are using this selector in the page, not here in the client. Yeah, in the inventory details page, we are using this TRN inventory selector. And where is that declared? So it's in the, let me collapse these things. It's in the manage inventories base client. So this is where TRN inventory selector is declared. And it has a company ID and branch ID and the inventory ID. So that's why we see these three fields in the client. So what we are asked to do is we are asked to create a custom selector. So what I'll do is I'll just reuse the code in this selector. So this is something you have asked as well. So somebody asked yesterday, can we create a custom selector? So that's exactly what we are going to do right now. But to do that, I'm going to first copy this code from the base selector, and I'm going to rename it. TR inventory, let's call it detail selector. Select a TR inventory detail selector, and they have these three fields right now. And I will add two more fields. So what are those fields that we need? The picking lead time and the name. So let me add those two fields, static name and the static picking lead time. Right, those two. So we have created a custom selector right now. So I'll add that to the exercise 6 document 2 and to the chat. But there's another change that we need to do. That is, we need to use this selector because we are still using the default selector, right? So instead of the selector TR and entry selector, what I'll do is I'll let me copy, comment out that one, and I'll use selector TR and entry detail selector. We also have to bind the selector for the group as well. So let me comment that out for the group, and then I'll use this TRN inventory detail selector. I'll bind it to the TRN inventory group as well. So let me post that bit of code in here as well. Saved. And in the chat too. Yeah, so I can deploy this. Should work. And if I refresh the page right now, I can see that these has these other name and the picking lead time fields. and in here as well in the drop down. So I'll give you a minute to do that. Test it and please see if you get these extra fields in the selector. All good? Right. Okay, so then we can go and see the next part of the exercise, and that is company ID and the branch ID fields must support LOV functionality. So why this is needed? If you try to create a new record, so you have to manually type the company ID uh, and the branch ID too. So it's better to have LOV functionality. So what do we do whenever we need an LOV? We need to create a reference, isn't it? So for the branch ID, we already have a reference. So that is this. Actually, let me, yeah, okay, let's leave them. We do have a reference called TRN branch ref here, and we can reuse the reference. Right? So what I can do is I can copy this and then go into the client and go to the group. And for the branch ID, I could use the TRN branch ref instead. Right? And let me deploy it. And it'll create a LOV for the branch ID. So I can test that. We also need to create a LOV for company ID as well. So after I do that, I'll send you the code. So I can see that there's a LOV right now. So similar thing can be done for the company, but for that we need to create a reference. So we could create this reference. Let me quickly do that. Reference TRN company ref. That would just be company ID. And that's to TRN company. And again, company ID is the key there. Yes. And then let me deploy that. Does it work? It does. Well,
it's
I'll have.
I'm sorry, it's strange
Yes.
that it did not, because there is a typo in it. If you see
Yeah, I
the
just corrected the a typo. That was extra D, isn't it?
no, it's in company
No.
ID. It's in the first bracket.
Yeah. Right. Thank
Okay.
you for pointing that out.
Okay.
And yeah, so there is a typo, but so that problem will be evident only when we try to use the yeah, there's a ODP illegal state, right? That is because we have a problem here. So that's kind of a, it should have checked it. Unfortunately, it doesn't. So we can actually correct that.
Oh, okay. Can I have a question now?
Yes.
We saw this kind of not really informative error message in case situations like this. If it was easy now to fix this, but can we get more information in situations like that?
Right. So actually, no. I think in that regard, we need to improve the support from the ID, and I think there are some projects that are going on about that as well. So you will see better support for these kinds of errors, better error checking in the future, right? But yeah, so these kind of errors, I know it can take a lot of time of your development time. Yeah, it's a problem. So this is something where somewhere that the ID could improve, and there are current projects that are actually changing the ID towards that, right? So that could be the answer. Yeah.
Okay, and nothing in the some kind of console or log where we could guess something from in what stage it happens or something like that. So
So when you're deploying, typically, so let me close all those things. So if you deploy it, sometimes in the SVC you would see something, but still, so yeah. So this one is actually hard to catch error, but typically it will give you an error. So if you actually misspell reference names, so that is a problem, and it is hard to catch. That is true. For that we don't have a proper log.
Okay.
Right. So did I copy these things? I did not. So let me copy the reference. We just created this TR company ref, and this branch ref was there already, but I'll copy that one as well for the completeness. And then I can actually use the company ref for the company ID. And in fact, let me create a label, because we don't have a good label here. And then I'll also do that for branch ref. So I need a branch ID label. Deploy that, and then it should work. Let's see now our web service is working, the ODP service or data service. So let me refresh that, and I should see when I try to create a new record. Okay, there's a company ID and there's a branch ID, 2 LOVs, and I think there's another hint saying branch LOV must be filtered based on the selected company ID value, and that is automatically handled. So the branches, if you change the company name, it'll actually clear the branch ID, right? Yeah, so that is already there. It's not a problem. So I'll give you a minute to do that.
I actually got an error saying that the TRN company entity is missing, actually cannot find required model.
Okay, so probably it's a spelling, most probably. Yeah. Which is your VM number? Is that who was that actually?
It was 120. Yeah, 120.
120. So I'll take over for a second.
Yep.
Is my voice breaking, or how's the situation? Company entity. So where is this? So you're trying to. Okay. Where are we getting this? That is a kind of a weird thing.
Is it required to redeploy TRNENT again?
I don't think so. You could do that. Yeah. Let's see. There must be some spelling mistake somewhere. I'm thinking. Right. Okay. Layer. So I don't see it. So maybe I'll try restarting the IDE. So let's see. Sometimes that fixes things.
But I've been getting this components error that is actually as a suggestion that is coming up actually. You know, you have the red mark lines where I'm actually using the fetch statement. So does I need to actually have a component refresh or something?
No. So if you see, I'm getting that as well. So let me show that to you. And the reason is that, if you check the error message, it is actually trying to, so it thinks that, we know that these TRN country, they are in the TRN ENT. So we know that TRN INV is dependent on the TRN ENT. And typically in a proper development environment, this error would not come, but we have kind of sort of hacked it. So we are getting this problem, right? So we can actually ignore that. It should not be a problem. So let's try to deploy this right now. And 22R1 GA, and it works now.
Okay.
Yeah. So that must be some IDE bug maybe. I'll disconnect.
Yeah. Thank you then.
You're welcome. Right. So what's next that we have? Right. So we just created the LOV for branch ID, and it asks us to customize the LOV functionality for branch ID such that it displays branch ID name, time of set, country ID, and area ID values. So what does this mean? So if you invoke this LOV, we now have the branch ID and the name, just the branch ID and the name. But this exercise wants us to have some extra field, branch ID name, and then extra time of set, country ID, and area ID values in that LOV. So how can we add these three fields in here? So first of all, we need to know where where this LOV is coming from. So there is a certain UI element that says these two fields are the fields that are shown in this LOV. And so if you haven't, so we haven't declared that, have we? So if you are searching for something that you haven't declared, the place to watch or place to see or check is the base client file. So we know that a lot of UI elements are created on behalf of us whenever we use a maybe an entity, right? So there's a selector that is created and so on. And if you scroll down in the manage inventories base.client, in the reference support section, you will see this reference TRN branch selector for TRN branch. So this is what is used when you are invoking the LOV. So these are the fields that are used, right? So what you can do is you can create a selector like this and use that selector instead using this one, right? So that's what I'll do. So I'll actually create a selector, or maybe I can. I think I have a code for that somewhere. Yeah. So let me copy this code.
By the way, would it be? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But would it be possible to override it too?
Yeah, we can override that too. So there is also an option. Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't we do that? Yeah. Let's
Okay.
do that instead. Right. I'll copy this so it's easier. So where's the selectors? So there it is. And I need to override. Yeah, so this is the button I was talking about yesterday. So there's this little hint that comes up when you click that. It asks you to insert the override. That is because you're actually redeclaring something that is in the base file. And you don't need these other things. Instead, what you can do is you can have the time offset, country ID, and area ID. So these three things. So let's see if this works, right? And let me refresh this. And yeah, now we can see these things. So what we have done is we have overridden the selector reference TRN branch selector, and we have added these three fields in there, right? So let me put that piece of code in the file too. Save it, and then in the chat. However, I'll also show you some other thing that you can do. So you can override it as well, but there's this that you can do. So you can declare a selector, right? So I have this selector, TRN branch LOV selector, and then so this is the same thing, and then you can use this selector in the LOV field like this. So maybe let's do this one rather than overriding the selector, because this actually opens us up for something new, right? So what you can do is you can change this TRN branch ref into something else. So let me duplicate this line of code and comment that out. And what I can do is I can tell this field to use this TRN branch LOV selector as its LOV. So to do this, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change this field to LOV, and then I'm going to say with TRN branch LOV selector. So this is kind of a weird syntax, but this is how you would do it. So you can do this part as well. Let me. This is the first option, and this is the second option. Create a selector, and then use the selector in the TRN branch ref field by changing the field to LOV and then using with TRN branch selector. So maybe we will use that because then we learn that this extra syntax is there, this LOV syntax. I'll give you a minute to do that.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Did you add the TRN branch love selector? I think I missed that part. No, I mean to the projection file, or
No. We are not adding that to the projection file because this selector is a UI element, and anything we add to the projection is a change to the web service, right? So UI, for the UI we use client files, whereas for the web service changes we use the projection.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Okay, I can test this as well again. Since I've changed the branch ID LOV. Should ideally work. And it does. Right, so I'll proceed with the next section of that exercise. Yeah, it should be possible to add, update, delete inventory information. So you can test that as well. I think we are able to add. So let me add a new inventory for some other company, DNE branch, and then I'll call it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and INV 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, and then I'll save it. Saving can be done. How about modifying inventory? Yeah, modifying works too, and I can delete one. Yeah, it deletes a record. So you can do a little test as well. Right. So I'll proceed with to the second part of the exercise number 6. So let me know if you need more time. Right, just unmute your mic and let me know. So this is the one we have. All attributes specified in the trn inventory com method LU should be displayed on a list and must be bound to the custom selector on the page. So what does this mean? So we can go to the overview diagram again of the inventory. So if I go to the inventory overview, we know that so we just created a group for TRN inventory, right? So this group actually shows details about TRN inventory. And we have an aggregate relationship. So we have this TRN inventory com method, and we have a aggregate relationship with this TRN inventory com method. So this TRN inventory is the parent. So let me zoom in a bit. Maybe it's easier for you to view that way. So there's this TRN inventory parent, and it has multiple inventory com methods, right? And we have to show these inventory com methods for each of the inventory as a list down here, right? So this is what the screenshot shows as well. Yeah. Yeah. So how do we do that? So we have done this before. And where was that? So we have done this with the company branch, or maybe the country and the area actually, right? So if you check the country and the area, so enterprise handling, what we did was we created an array in the TRN country to TRN areas, right? And we use that array, not in the managed companies, in the managed geographies. And we use that array to populate a list called TRN area list. This is the array, right? So we can do something similar to that in our inventory handling projection as well. So we have already overridden the TRN inventory entity, and we can add this array to the TRN inventory entity. Right? So the syntax should be familiar to you now. So array, what do I call this? TRN inv com method array, and the key list is company ID, branch ID, and in the inventory ID should it be? Let me check. Yes. Company ID, branch ID. Let's not try to misspell, and the inventory ID. And then the data source is TRN inventory com method, isn't it? It's a kind of a long line of code, and I'll put that in the file. So again, this is in the overridden TRN inventory entity. So I'll put that as well, just for the context. Actually, this is part 2. And I can even check my service document. Yeah, it's not there in the service document, the metadata document actually. So now we have do we have it? Why don't we have it? Did I deploy it? Yeah, now we have it. Navigation property name trn inventory com method array. And yeah. Can I expand this? Let me see. No, it's not expand. I don't even remember the order keyword, but there's a keyword that lets you expand these things. I don't remember it right now. Tiny, if you remember, let me know. So you can have this array. So I have this in the document, and then you can use that array in a list. So of course you have to first create a list, and that list has to have all the fields of trn inventory com method. So where is that? So these are parent keys, and then we have the inventory com ID, address, communication type, and the default address. So we can create a list for trn inventory com method. Trn inv com method list for trn inventory com method. And what are the fields? Inventory com ID. So I won't include the parent keys, just the important ones. Address, communication type, and the default address. So that's the list. Let me put that in the chat and the document too.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Can I ask for some help? I get a strange error when try to deploy the previous step, the projection file.
Okay.
Regarding FND Boolean, can you look at my VM?
Yeah. Which one is that, Janos?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I
1,
got the
2,
same thing.
3.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Right. So hopefully you do have the. Let's see. Let's see. Cannot. Again, I guess since it is there, I think it's there. Yeah, it's there, and it's fine. And what I think we could do is we could just restart the ID. So who else is having the problem? Let's try restarting the ID for now. It should probably solve that. It's sort of I think it's a caching problem in the IDE. I don't think it's correct to give that error. So who else was having that problem actually?
I did. I'm
Okay,
restarting it already.
Okay, so let's see. Yeah, it's updating the database cache. Maybe that could solve it as well, but sometimes it's just restarting the IDE is better. Okay.
Yep, all good now.
All good, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
So if you see something like that, first try to refresh the database cache. So I'll did it work? Hold on. Yeah, it did work. So let me get out of your VM. And so yeah, if you're seeing something like that, just try to refresh the database cache. So right click on the database and then refresh or even clear and refresh code completion cache. So this one, It will take a minute or maybe even 30 seconds. So you can do that. And then if that doesn't work, just restart the IDE. It should work. Right.
Okay,
So where
thank
are
you.
we? Yeah, so we created the list. Did I put that in the chat? I did. And then we can use the list in the page. So just below the group, I will add this list, and this list should use the array that we declared. Right? So trn com method array. And we should also bind the selector. Right? So this is the code. I'll paste it and I'll remove the extra stuff. Nice. Okay, let me try to deploy this and see if my page works. It seems to work. Yeah, we can have the different inventory com methods. Okay, so right, so that is actually the end of the 6th exercise. So there's a bit of asking you to test it, trying to test whether you can edit the records in the newly created list. You should be able to do that. Should not be a problem. So, but that concludes exercise number 6, and we then have the exercise number 7. But before we do that, what we'll do is we'll go for a bit of a break. And before we go for the break, do you have any questions about these exercises or exercise number 6 or anything else?
Somebody regarding this error handling, how
Yeah,
do you guys actually at R&D do this kind of debugging? Do you have some kind of like error handling, or what do you say, frequently error document which you actually refer to know what exactly is the root cause of the error?
it's typically experience, and we when we are deploying things, we actually rely primarily on the output. So there's nothing else actually. So
No,
primarily the
I'm
output.
talking about when you don't get the error, like you misspelled that key field, you didn't get the error here, so it's actually
Yeah,
showing 0. But in the projection, you got when you're trying to actually load the projection using the URL, you got an error saying, what was it, ODP invalid or something. So those kind of errors, I mean, it's hard to actually know. Okay, I mean, sometimes after you write so many lines of code to know that it's a misspell.
yes. So I don't have a good answer for that as well. So that the problem is kind of a I won't say it's an edge case, but yeah, it can happen. But so for me, it's the first time that it has happened, right? So it is an edge case where you don't get anything. It's kind of a hard to debug error. But typically, what you would get is you will get something in the output exactly telling you what's wrong with it. So that it's typically it has some maybe better error messaging. But in that instance, there was a problem, and you know, when something like that happens, there are two things that you can do. First thing is you can try to clear the cache. So the cache clearing can be done. So one of the things that you can do is you can actually clear the cache, and I think I have that URL somewhere. So you can clear a cache of a projection using this URL. So I'll put that in the maybe I'll create a separate document for that in the public share root, right? Clearing projection cache. Not sure this somebody gave this to you, but this is the URL. So if you have a PM, you can go to main IFS applications projections, clear cache, and then you give this these parameters, and then for the value you give whatever the projection name. So replace this enterprise handling with whatever the projection name here.
Okay.
Right? And then you clear the projection cache. And if it doesn't solve it, and then I'll typically go and check whether I registered the component. So that would be the second step. Third step is, I will go back to the projection and painstakingly check whether I've misspelled something. So, like I said, I don't have a good answer for that. So that kind of thing should be checked, and I think there are projects that are trying to improve the error messaging in the Developer Studio as well. So you will see better error messaging in the future. Right? Yeah.
Sampath,
Yes.
in that you can change the label of the list and make it display the name, like instead of trn inv
Yeah.
method.
I can change it. So let me. So what I'll typically do is, so in this case, you don't really. Yeah, maybe I can say something like communication methods or something. Where's my list? There. So I can add a label. Communication methods, and I can deploy that, and it'll give me a better header for this. And I can do the same for the group as well. Typically for groups, you should not have a label. You can just remove the label, because we have a topic, maybe a header on the top, so you don't really need to have something.
Sampath, I mean, what I wanted to say is that label, can you make it can you go back to the application?
Right. Okay.
Can you have a situation where you say communication methods for Candy branch default inventory, like put the name from the header and the.
Oh yeah, we can. Let's try that. For you know how to insert things. So the syntax is $, and then you have these brackets, and then is it parent? Yes, parent inventory ID. So this should work. Let me try that. Yeah, so it works. So you can have a kind of a combination of the company ID and the branch ID too. But
Can you do it for the name, if possible?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, append it to the ID. I mean, just want to see how that happens. Just append it.
Let's do something like this then.
Yeah.
Name. It'll work. There you go.
Can you put that in the chat, please? Thank you.
Sure. And yeah. So again, the thing to remember is that you can use this dollar, and then within these curly braces, you can have a field name or a a parent key or something, or that if you are in a master detail page, you can use a parent. However, if you are just if your page just has a list, you can't do parent because there is no parent, right? So if your page has a selector, this will work. Did I put that in the maybe here? For the list, I can do this too. Yes. Right. So what we'll do is we'll take a break, and then after the break, we will start exercise number 7. Right. So we will go for a 20-minute break, and after 20 minutes, we'll meet again. Okay. Right. See you after 20 minutes then. Bye.